Hello, welcome to the Tutors of Life podcast, episode 62. This is your host, Shaun Tutor.
And this is Sam.
Sam, what is the good news?
I finally got a YouTube video posted.
There we go.
I had to switch programs completely, relearn how to edit videos, and it finally exported into YouTube.
But now we have YouTubes.
So there's only two up right now. It's my the phone one that is the wrong direction. Which maybe now that I have a editing app, I might be able to actually fix that. I'll try.
Okay.
And then the episode with Kyle.
Yeah. So that's very exciting. V excites. So now we just have like 12 episodes to catch up on.
Yeah, I don't know how I'm going to feel about posting the hour and 45-minute episode because we had microphone troubles in the middle of it.
Yeah.
And it is going to take forever to post because the longer the video, the bigger the file. And the one with Kyle was an hour and 15 minutes, and that one took 2.5 or 3 hours to upload.
Sounds like a good learning experience.
I'm glad you say that. So thrilled.
Mimi is such a heavy breather.
Yeah, we were informed that you guys can hear her snoring and breathing.
What a little stinker. That's okay. She's cute, so we keep her in here.
That's true. I'm also going to try to pay more attention to the microphones today in hopes that they don't just cut out.
Yeah, we have no idea why they did that.
Nope, I got nothing. But I have the backup microphone much closer to me this time, so I don't have to go climbing over cords and things.
That's good. That's good.
So if you're watching this, that is why I keep looking to my right.
Yep, that makes sense. All right, everybody, who is excited for a Tutors of Life tutor episode?
Sure, yeah,
Okay.
Always.
Good deal.
I suppose I'm everyone.
You're the only person that's responding
Yep.
to me. I was informed by Sam that she gets sick of me going on very long rants where she does nothing but sit there. How do you feel about that, Sam?
What am I supposed to do? I'm in a podcast. I can't go on my phone and tune you out like you do me.
I listen to you.
Really?
Most of the time, unless I'm looking something up.
That's a lie.
Really?
Yes.
While on the podcast?
Oh, no, not while on the podcast.
Oh, okay. In real life, you are 100% correct.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. I can't do that. So I get bored because I have to sit here for 5 minutes, listen to you go on and on and on and on. And I just have to try and pay attention for if there's ever a moment I need to respond to you.
But doesn't that stuff intrigue you, Sam?
Not when I hear it every day.
Our audience likes it, hopefully.
I'm glad they do. Has anyone told you? I'm sure that our 45-minute length sticker on there really terrified people.
No.
I think it's an hour 40, but whatever.
I think people liked it. The only thing that might have been annoying was the technical difficulties.
Yeah.
Other than that, everything else about that episode was fire.
I'm so happy I don't listen to the whole episodes anymore.
Yeah. Anyhow, okay, let's get into this. What are we talking about today, Sam?
You told me and I forgot. Wealth building.
Wealth building.
I got there.
So
Obviously, we went for Sean's topic, not mine.
yes, Sam's topic is our struggles and how we plan to overcome them.
Well, and how we have been. So that's next week's episode if you want to listen to that.
Yeah. I'm sleepy today. Anyhow,
Our listeners are going to love listening to you yawn.
I just keep yawning. I'm drinking tea. I'll wake up, I swear. So, I'm thinking, I wanted to do stuff. I want to do a tutor episode on wealth building. That is.
It was a request.
It was a request of sorts.
Yes.
A good friend of mine told me he thinks I I should be discussing topics like that. And I was like, okay, cool. I'm going to do that because I really like topics like that. So
They also didn't know we have a podcast.
yeah, so it's kind of cool. He's like, hey, you should, he said, hey, you should make a YouTube or social media about wealth building and passive income and stuff as like a young gentleman, young entrepreneur. And I'm like, oh, dude, I already do that kind of. So I just need to do that topic more. So here we are.
Babe, I forgot to mention something in our intro.
Yeah.
This is our 1-year episode.
Really?
Yeah. Our first episode came out on January 24th of 2021.
Holy shit, dude. Mm-hmm. 1 year of podcasting.
1 year of podcasting.
Congrats to us.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
There you
Me
go.
too.
Yep.
All right, so this is what I'm going to talk about on wealth building. Most people do not think about building wealth. They do not think about acquiring assets. They just think about acquiring liabilities.
Oh, I know why you want to talk about this.
Because it was a request?
No, because someone also mentioned to you as well this weekend about how you should buy about liability, and you said that's not how investing works.
Oh, yeah. I didn't even think about that till you brought that up. Here's the deal. You should be thinking about your wealth. And so your wealth is essentially your balance sheet. And so your balance sheet lists out what your assets less your liabilities are. So what are your assets? What are your liabilities? Assets are things that bring your net worth up. Liabilities are things that bring them down. Now, utilizing liabilities can really beef up your asset column by loans for houses,
Yeah.
right?
Question.
Yeah.
Can an asset turn into a liability depending on the market?
What? Yeah, just like a liability can turn into an asset.
Okay, cool. Just wondering.
So anyways, this is how I'm going to break it down. So, net worth. You see people's net worth. So you like look up so-and-so's net worth. A lot of things play into a net worth. Things people own. So how much equity people have in real estate plays into net worth. Valuations of people's businesses. How much liquid cash you have. Do you have cryptocurrencies? Do you have stocks? Do you have notes payable to yourself, from someone? Things like that are going to give you your net worth, right?
Yeah.
You like it?
I love
You
it.
following it?
Sure.
Okay, so this is what I'm going to say. Simple, nice, and easy. How I have increased my net worth over the last couple years. What I started out doing was pretty much only worrying about building a business. Because if you have a self-running business, that's key. You need it self-running. If you have a self-running business, or pretty much self-running, you play a minimal role in it, you then have a sellable business. Mm-hmm. As long as it's profitable and people want the business, which obviously mine was. So then once you have a sellable business, what you can sell your business for would be typical standard is 2.5 times whatever your net income is. Okay, so if your net income is $100,000 a year, your business is self-running, you could probably safely sell your business for $250,000.
Okay.
All right. So I spent a few years 5 years building a business that was sellable. Once I had a sellable business, I decided to sell it.
I mean, you could have sold it sooner, but
Right.
you waited for the right time.
Right. And so I sold it for my 50% of my 50% of net income for the year, multiplied by 2.5% is what I sold my shares for. So just my net worth, right, would have been that amount. Okay, just what the business is, plus any cash I had on hand, any stocks, bonds, cryptocurrencies, stuff like that I had on hand, right? But in my last year of growing the business, Ryan and I decided to start investing in real estate pretty aggressively. We had a couple rentals together at this point. I think we had 3. We had 3 group home rentals at this point. But this past year, we decided to get into investing pretty aggressively and started building up a portfolio. So all the properties we bought that were undervalued, that we added value to through repairs, prettying up the property, getting new tenants in that pay a premium, those things brought the value of our property up, giving us more equity in the property. That equity portion, so your equity is everything over what you owe on the loan. So if your property is valued at $200,000, you owe $100,000 on the mortgage, you have $100,000 in equity, which means your net worth has increased by $100,000. You following, Sam?
Yes.
Are you liking it?
Yes.
Okay. So I now had a sellable business. I had equity in real estate, right? So I sold my business for a lot of equity plus some cash payout. So that in turn went and gave me a net worth of, so whatever my business was selling for, right? What I sold my business for, I got that equity amount in properties, plus then some cash.
Right.
So that is how I built my net worth up. So why net worth is important is if you get commercial lending, to get loans, things like that, these banks want to know your personal financial statement. Your personal financial statement is essentially your balance sheet of life. It shows your net worth. The higher your net worth, the more likely you are to get lended to. So by building up my net worth, I am building up my likelihood of getting loans. Following?
Yeah, and don't they, because what really helps is like, if a property makes you money, they're more likely to give you another loan.
Oh yeah, so all the loans you get are property by property. Does that property make sense and stuff like that? It's just a lot easier to get a loan if you have a good personal financial statement backing that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So yeah, yep, it's definitely so if I go, so this is what I do all the time to my banker. I go, "Hey, here's this property. This is so I'm just going to break it down with a real life example." So I go to my banker, Travis, at Sterling Bank. He's the OG. Make sure to use him if you're in the area. I say, "Hey, I have this property. It's a duplex. I'm purchasing it at $93,000, okay? $93,000. When I am done with the rehabs, and I list out the rehabs, so I have to do half of the roof needs to be redone. We need to update the flooring. We need to paint. We need to do some trim. We need to do new outlets and fixtures. And then we need to clean it up and get new tenants in at a higher rent. We got to do that in both units. The total repair budget, I believe, was around $25,000.
Okay.
So I have a $93,000 purchase price. I have $25,000 in repairs, putting us all in at math and shit, Sam. What would that be? $118,000.
There you go.
We will be in $118,000 for this property. So, I believe the property, once it's rented, will be worth $155,000. Why I believe it'll be worth that is because I will be getting $1,550 a month in rent from tenants. So, that is the 1% rule essentially. So, what I do then is I go $93,000. I put 10% down on that $93,000. So I put $9,300 down to acquire the property. I spend the $25,000 on repairs. I get 2 new tenants in to bring up the value of the property. And now that that property is stabilized, I have year leases. It's updated. Now the property's worth $155,000. So I will get a cash out refinance up to 75% of what that property is worth. And so I believe this one was 100. I think we ended up just agreeing on 105,000. 105,000, right? Or was it 115,000? 115,000. So it'll be 115,000. Is what the loan will be at. So the loan's going to be at $115,000. The valuation will be at $155,000. Okay. So that gives me $40,000 in equity. Okay. So that adds $40,000 to my net worth. Since I'm doing a cash out refinance, I get all of my money less $3,000 because my total in is going to be around $118,000. The loan's going to be around $115,000 once it's stabilized. So I am leaving $3,000 into the deal. However, I am receiving back around, that's 6 plus 25, 31. Around $31,000 I will get back out. We following?
Yeah.
And so what happens here? So now that I have this refinance property, my cash flow a month. And so when I do my cash flow, banks calculate their own cash flow. I send them my sheet for how I take my cash flow, which mine ends up showing less cash flow than their formula. My formula, though, I pay the mortgage, I pay property taxes, insurance, I pay the management company, I pay 8% for maintenance, I pay 8% for capital expenditures, and then if I have to pay water or sewer or whatever, or any utilities, and then I get the cash flow, anything over that, which this specific property is $250 a month in cash flow. But that $250 a month is like, I don't have to worry about this property. If something goes wrong, I've saved for it. It's covered. I've got $3,000 into this property. So I'm going to have a cash on cash return of 100%. Wait, no. Yeah, that'll be it, right? About 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. So a cash on cash return of 100%. So I'll make my money back within 1 year. And then I get $250 a month. and I added $40,000 to my net worth.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not bad.
So you talked about that because of the PFS.
Because of the personal financial statement. So when you show, so now I go to the bank with this deal. I say, hey, I'm going to have a cash flowing property. I'm going to have a property with 25% equity into it. That's going to help build up my personal financial statement, going to help build up my net worth, and I'm adding cash flow. Mm-hmm. So the bank goes, yeah, dope, that's a good deal. We'll finance it. Awesome. We do the deal. Mm-hmm. I do my part, they do their part, and everybody's happy.
And then you add it to your PFS, and then you can get another one, and another one. And this is why the rich can get richer.
Right. Not that I'm rich.
No.
But I'm Shaun.
This is, how we've been building wealth.
That's how I've been building wealth. Yep. We've been building wealth. Yep. So, this is where passive income and wealth can essentially meet together and live in a good space, but then also where you need to be conscious of what you want right now. Do you want more passive income or do you want more net worth? And why I say that. So this property right here, my goal was passive income. And my goal is still passive income, but I need to focus on net worth too. Because the cash flow board game taught us that.
That's true. Plus you do have a goal, so you want to get that.
For what?
Don't you have like a net worth goal by the time you're...
I've already reached it.
Okay, never mind.
So, what I'm talking about is the property I just gave the example is in a C-class area. I could go over classes and stuff about this some other time. That property is not going to appreciate very much, okay? So it's kind of just, as the market goes up, it's going to go up with inflation. Nothing extra, nothing spectacular. That property is just a passive income property. Mm-hmm. That's it. I'm not getting much wealth off of it. What I am getting, I'm getting debt pay down. Someone is paying my mortgage, which is giving me more debt pay down, which is increasing my equity, which is increasing my net worth. So yes, in 25 years, I will have a paid off property that's cash flowing and it'll have appreciated with the market, right? But it's going to be nothing crazy that would allow me to go purchase something massive, okay?
Right.
So here is where you have to play a game. Are you in it for appreciation more, or are you in it for cash flow more? So when you look at a property, right, and you look at the 1% rule, that's hunky-dory, that's good, right? That is should be close to a staple. But I'm young, right? I'm young and already financially free. Mm-hmm. I have cash flow goals, so I'm going to keep trucking towards my cash flow goals. And I'm going to do that through adding more of these BRRRR. So the properties I just talked about are BRRRR properties. So when I refer to BRRRR properties, that's the type of property I'm talking about. So I'm going to keep adding through BRRRR properties and through Airbnbs. So where I'm heading next is going to say why the Airbnbs is a good option. So Sam and I are going to look at houses in the mountains and houses on the ocean, or near, not on the ocean, I ain't that fucking rich, near the ocean, right?
Right.
So a house near the ocean is going to appreciate better. So we're going to probably shop in B+ areas, B+ A- areas.
Oh yeah.
Near the ocean or in the mountains. That shit is going to appreciate a lot better than my duplex in a C-class neighborhood.
In Eau Claire, Wisconsin.
So we're going to purchase South Carolina, Florida area. Florida is really, really hot right now, so we might want to stick to South Carolina for a bit.
Yeah.
But we'll we're test that. That's part of our 12-week year, and we'll discuss that maybe Friday. We'll discuss our 12-week year a little bit.
Yeah, we can.
So we'll be getting rolling into our 12-week year, and part of that is we're going to find our first area that we are going to invest in.
Mm-hmm.
Sam,
yes.
How are you liking listening?
I'm loving this.
Are you actually liking this?
Yeah.
Okay. You like this, but you don't like me going on conspiracy theory rants.
To be honest, wait, do you want me to be honest on the podcast?
Honest.
I definitely have been dozing off.
Wow, Sam, we got to get you into it. We got to get you involved.
This is all I already know all of this, and I'm not talking, so I just I'm just warm and cozy and Mimi's here, and I just want to cuddle up and fall asleep.
Do you want to talk a little bit, or you just want me to keep going?
I don't know what you want me to say.
Okay, well, I'll keep going.
That's what I figured.
I like talking anyhow. You guys know I like talking.
You love talking.
I just like talking. So anyways, I'm 26. I need to focus on building equity and net worth because when you buy a property, so say we go buy an Airbnb near the ocean, okay? Mm-hmm. Say we buy it for $500,000, mm-hmm. Okay? More people are moving to the ocean, whatever, we're using it for an Airbnb. That property is becoming, there's only a finite amount of properties there, right? It's becoming more and more valuable. So that property might go up to a $750,000 property in the next 5 years, right?
Right. So
we just added $250,000 in equity, not including the amount we already put down on the property for equity. So we have $250,000 extra in equity. Okay.
That's impressive.
Right? That's good. Just by holding it for 5 years.
Right.
Depending on how markets go and shit, right? But we've saw, or at least I was looking at properties. This is so far off that it doesn't even make sense. But I was looking at properties in 2014, okay, in Punta Gorda, Florida. And then I decided to look at the same properties in 2020. So that's before we had the massive increase in the market. So I haven't even checked since then. So from 2014, wait, did I say 2013, 2014?
You said 2014.
2014 until 2020, 6 years. Those properties in 2014 were around $150,000, okay? So it was 3-bed, 2-bath, canal access with a pool was around $150,000, and I saw multiple of them on the MLS, multiple. Mm-hmm. 2020, I was looking because Sam and I were talking about getting to Airbnbs. We found not even a handful. We found a couple of those properties, and they were all $350,000 to $450,000.
Oh yeah.
So 6 years. In 6 years, those properties went up $200,000 to $300,000. And I haven't even looked what they went to now because I'm sure it's just asinine.
Yeah, I've been too afraid.
I don't even want to look. I was hearing of people talking of how they bought property in Florida in 2020, and their neighbors were selling their properties for twice what they paid for their similar one, right? So 2020 they were buying their property for $400,000 in Florida. They had friends selling theirs for $730,000, so not quite twice, but $730,000 for a similar property right next door. A year and a half later.
Oof.
A year and a half later. Think of how good of a buy that was for the people that bought at $400,000 in 2020.
Right. So the people buying those at those super expensive prices, are they gonna, do you think those housing prices are gonna go down and they're gonna lose out of money, or do you think they'll probably stay that high?
No, I don't necessarily think they'll stay that high because of interest rates and stuff. But what I do think is Well, Florida's also a really hot spot. A lot of people from California are moving there and stuff. So I mean, that's helping with the inflation a lot. It's a very sought after place, Florida. But also, you know, as the interest rates increase, we're going to see prices of houses drop. That's not going to affect any of these people who bought, as long as they do not try to sell or refinance their house.
Okay.
Selling and refinancing is going to hurt them because the property's not worth as much anymore.
Right.
But as long as they keep their current mortgage, they're fine because they're already in at a rate that they can sustain.
Right.
Yep.
So if they like lose their income, they are SOL. Cool.
100%. Yeah, I think that's pretty cool.
So do you think there's gonna be lots of foreclosures coming up? Okay.
Yep. People that overbought and lose their income or have a correction in income, whatever it is, and they can't afford, they will not be able to sell their property because they're going to owe more than the market is willing to pay. That's where we're going to see a lot of foreclosures, and that's where people are going to get in a lot of trouble.
Right.
Yep. But they are saying, like, for the industry average, a lot more people are buying in cash and a lot more people are putting a lot of money down. So that really only pertains to the people who weren't putting a lot of money down.
Dang, that's genius. I didn't think about doing that. I just I wouldn't have thought about how with prices being higher, it makes more sense to put more money down.
Yeah, but not really. Because the interest rates are so low that it makes more sense to use that free money than to put more of your money down.
Yeah, I suppose.
Yeah, because then you can take your money and invest it in something else.
Right.
When interest rates were 2.75%, that's less than inflation. It makes sense to borrow money at that.
Yeah. Borrow
as much as you can. So that's where that's at. So back to that $250,000 equity I would have gained in that Airbnb, right? This is hypothetical, but follow me. That $250,000 I gained, right? Mm-hmm. How many? So say during that time as an Airbnb, maybe I'm only cash flowing $500 a month.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Yeah.
But keep in mind, for me to acquire that property, I'm most likely going to have to put 20% down. So I'm going to put $100,000 down. Mm-hmm. So I'm getting like a 1% return on my money. Okay?
Right. 1%
return on my money. Not a good return. I do not recommend this.
Right.
Let's say that's where you are. Well, actually, 500 times 12, 50, so that'd be actually a 10% return. You get a 10% return on your money. It's going to take you 10 years to recoup your money. Nope, 20 years, 5%. Math and shit. Wow. So anyways, you get a 5% return on your money. But now that you have this $250,000 in equity, you have debt pay down, you have your initial $100,000 you put in. So you're sitting around $400,000, okay? What can you buy with $400,000? Down, right? So depending on what kind of loan you get, you could do a commercial property with 10% down and get an apartment or something, okay? So you could buy a $4 million property from that one Airbnb you bought because of appreciation.
If you get a multiplex, you could get so many apartments with it.
Yes. So if you can buy something that's $4 million from one property and you 1031 exchange it so you're not getting hit with any tax implications, okay? Do you think, as long as you get a good deal, right?
Right.
You think that $4 million apartment complex might bring you in a little more cash flow than that one Airbnb?
Hell yeah, well.
I'm thinking it's going to bring you in a little more.
Yep.
And that is the power, right, of using that's the power of finding appreciating assets. Maybe you're not getting as much cash flow, but we're young. We're 26, right? Fuck it. Even until you're 50, So whenever you want to retire, right? So say you're like, okay, I want to retire when I'm 50, all right? I plan to work till I'm 50. That gives me 24 years, okay? 24 years, I can sit here and I can build appreciation. I can build appreciation. I can build appreciation. I have to still get good deals. I do not want to be buying deals that I'm losing money on. Me personally, I don't. Some people with higher income, they can do that all day long and it pays off leaps and bounds for them. Mm-hmm. Massive, massive returns. I do not have the income anymore since I sold my business to be doing moves like that. So I have to be a little more conservative. So I still have to make sure I'm not losing money on deals. But if I got 24 years to play this game, and every 6 to 10 years I can add that kind of equity onto a property, I could start with $100,000 down on a property, play the appreciation game and jump, right? Mm-hmm. In 6 years, I could take that 100 and I could turn it into, say, 300, okay?
Okay.
I do that jump again and do a bigger property. That 300 turns into 900, okay? Mm-hmm. I take that jump and I do that jump again. That 900 turns into 2.7 million, okay? Mm-hmm. 2.7 million, I get one more jump, okay? So whatever the hell that comes out to.
5.5?
No, because it's times 3, so 6.
Oh.
Well, just say you're not going that. Say you're not getting as good a returns as you go up with higher money, whatever. Say you're at 5.5 million, okay? 5.4 million. We're at 5.4 million from doing a jump starting at 100,000. I was not really getting much of a return on that necessarily, but I just kept jumping and jumping. So over 24 years, I essentially had 4 cycles. 4 cycles where I was able to get my equity, triple my equity, boom, 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 boom. And then, because tripling your equity isn't insane, right? Like a lot of people it happen to.
Yeah.
Especially as you get into bigger houses or bigger apartment complexes. That's not just, I'm making $100,000 on an apartment complex. No, you could 2, 3, 4x your money in something like that. So now, I'm 50 years old. I want to retire. I have $5 million. I could probably buy something that would allow me to retire very, very comfortably. With $5 million, you're probably going to have to find a property that you would probably put 20% down in that essence.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So, I don't know. What the hell would that be? You could buy a $40 million property? Is that what it'd be?
If $5 million is 20%?
Mm-hmm.
5 times by 4? So 20 million?
And that's not
No,
right at all.
5 times by 5. 25 million.
No, you're still way off.
Am I?
I don't
250?
I don't know. Anyhow, you'd be able to buy a pretty big fucking property. Why is math so difficult?
Right. If 5 million is 20%, to get to 100%, you just times by 5.
Yeah, that makes sense.
25 million.
Yeah, good call. So
Wow.
I might be the dumber one here. So you'd be at $25 million property. So that $25 million property would probably set you up pretty good. Mm-hmm. So it's all just playing off of that net worth. It's all just playing off of building wealth. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Do you like that?
Yeah.
Is that pretty much exactly what we learned in the cash flow quadrant game?
Yep.
Yes. So my main goal was to get myself financially free, which we did. And we'll keep building on that, but that will not be our sole focus now.
Right. Because
now that we are financially free, which was our first step, now we can build wealth.
Yep. And just like the cash flow quadrant game, we'll just exchange some of our smaller properties to get bigger ones.
Yep.
To increase that wealth.
That's exactly right. So that's wealth in 101, I guess.
Can you only do it with real estate, or can you do it with other things?
Okay. Do anything, right? So let's do it with stocks, okay?
Okay.
You start investing in stocks when you're young. You get an average return of 8% on your money over the past 40 years, right? Mm-hmm. So the past 40 years, you get 8% return on your money. It's compounded in an account. So as you add this money, it compounds, going up by 8% on average for 40 years. When you go to retire at 65, right, you've been putting in however much you put into your account. And by the time you retire in 40 years, from 40 years of compounding, you have multiple millions of dollars to retire on.
Damn. That's cool.
So you do it with stocks, you do it with cryptos. It doesn't do anything.
Can you do it with a business or no?
100%. Businesses are Elon Musk, the richest man in the world.
Yeah.
Business.
So
Jeff Bezos, business.
Do you just, expand the business you have, or can you buy other businesses to buy bigger businesses?
Both.
Okay, cool.
So yeah, so if you look at Tesla, just Tesla, right? They went public. Stocks were bought. That stock ran up to $2,000. Then it did a 4-way split down to 500. That stock's back up to right now 923, but it was up to 1,200. So why that business, or why Elon Musk is so rich, is because he owns Tesla stock. He still owns a share of Tesla, or a portion of Tesla. So as that company's valuation increases through their quarterly reports of how well the company's doing, and the outlook of the company, what their mission is, and shit like that, the company valuation's going up. So Elon Musk is becoming wealthier and wealthier. That's why he's the richest man in the world right now.
That's cool.
That's awesome. Same thing, Jeff Bezos and Amazon.
Yeah.
So business. If you are interested in growing a business, that is going to get you the wealthiest, the fastest.
That's cool.
Highly recommend doing business.
I feel depending on your business.
Well, yeah, of course. Depending on your business. If you're self-employed, it doesn't count. I'm talking a business where your plan is to grow that bitch big.
Yeah.
Then
corporate level.
Corporate, yeah. Where you do not, you have a big sellable business. Yeah.
Cool.
So that's what I have for everybody. Check us out on tutorsoflife.com for blogs, and Tutors of Life on the Instagram.
If you're watching, you'll see there's another new one right there.
Sam built another one.
Yep. So I think I'm going to start posting them on Instagram. I might have said that before.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to start. So you guys, if you follow us on Instagram, you can start seeing some of the sets we have on our background.
Perf.
Cool.
All right. Bye, everybody.
See ya.